And I'm live. Oh man, first time I've been live in about 2.5 weeks, and that's not been through lack of trying. It's kind of sucked, really. I've been Let's give it a minute. Actually, let's give it a minute. Let's see if anyone comes in. See if anyone comes in. Give someone some time. In the meantime, yo, what's going on? We've got some traffic coming in. Taylor Tape. Oh, what's going on, Eric, my G? Nice to have you in, brother. Nigel, what's going on? Nigel Leo, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. So this is the first time I've been done a live stream in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and I kind of want to touch on that before I get into the stream. Kind of explain to you guys what's been going on. So I'm just going to go through this quickly, so then we can talk about fighting. Was having some serious streaming issues. For some reason, YouTube weren't letting me set up my stream. So every time I was set up my stream, YouTube weren't letting me go live when I was doing it through a laptop, and I used my work laptop to do this anyway. So then what I was trying to do was set up through my phone, and when I would go on through my phone, halfway through the stream it will cut off. And I had a few streams where like halfway through, you was there, Eric. It must have been real annoying. And every time I would get right into the mix of the conversation, it just cut off. So I'm trying again today. I'm hoping that that YouTube doesn't cut off the stream and that we can get into the conversation. The conversation can flow in, chilling, watch Glory, kickboxing, UFC, and boxing yesterday. That's what I'm talking about, Nigel. That's what it's about. Watching the fighting. Last night was a big night for the fighting, man. So Nigel, this is the first time you checked out my channel. I actually haven't seen you commenting on any of my videos before, so I don't know if you're new to my content, but stick around if you are. Yo, Jason, what's going on, my brother? Welcome. We're just gonna be talking about fighting here. That's what I try to do every Sunday. I try to have a discussion about fighting, boxing, MMA, everything. So let's get straight into it. Hopefully this stream doesn't cause us no problems and no grief, and we can go through it. If YouTube's still being off with me, being awkward, and it cuts off at like 15-20 minute mark, then we'll call it at that. But hopefully it's not, and I'm being positive. So let's get into it. So last night's card, watching Big Ten wrestling. Big up. Nigel, word, yeah, I'm new to your channel. Well, welcome to the channel, Nigel. I appreciate having you here. If this is the first time you checked out any of my content, then please subscribe, help me. I actually hit 500 today, but now it's gone back down to 495 last I checked. This happens with YouTube. The algorithms is a bit weird sometimes, but I appreciate every sub. So Nigel, thank you. Welcome to the channel, man. So let's go into last night, shall we, guys? Let's talk about the Junior Dos Santos Derek Lewis fights now. So the Junior Dos Santos Derek Lewis fight was kind of crazy, wasn't it? So coming into the fight, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. And yeah, no Popeyes tonight. No Popeyes tonight for Derek Lewis. It was kind of crazy. So like coming into the fight, and I've done a breakdown of the fight. What I was anticipating was that Junior Segan was going to come out and like I was expecting him to be hesitant of Derek Lewis's power, which a lot of people are. I thought he was going to be fighting on the back foot. Derek Lewis actually looked pretty good, but Junior looked better. Yeah, that's a fair point. I heard a lot of people saying Derek Lewis didn't look great, but yeah, no, that's true. So Junior Dos Santos came out and he was actually being pretty damn aggressive going forward the whole time. And in my breakdown, one of the things that I was anticipating was that, and I actually picked Junior to win. I was thinking that Junior Dos Santos was going to be walking backwards, circling away, letting Derek Lewis come forward and be looking to counter strike. It's not what he done. He walked forward, and then put the pressure on Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis started to get caught by shot. And one of the issues that I felt like was obvious coming into this fight, especially for Derek Lewis, is that essentially for both of them, the two biggest weapons is exactly the same. And the two biggest weapons is their left hand and their right hand. They're going to throw fist at your head. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to separate your consciousness with their fist. They're trying to put their fist upside your head and then make an impact. Considering that's both of their biggest weapons, and I consider Junior Dos Santos the more polished with those weapons, I felt like this is going to be a win for Junior Dos Santos, because one of the things that a lot of people were saying was that no, but Derek Lewis has just got to land one punch. Well, in my opinion, if you're conceding that in the fight you're going to be one of the guys, his only true realistic path to victory is by landing one shot and getting a knockout because he ain't technically superior than his opponent in any area, well, then you got to pick the other guy. To me, it doesn't make sense, with that all being considered, that you would pick Derek Lewis coming into the fight based on the fact that, yeah, well, if he lands one, it'll be over. I don't care. That one shot, one hit a quitter, yeah, maybe he might land it, but that to me is not a good enough reason to pick him over Junior Segan. What a great fight, great action, killer liver kick. Yeah, straight up, that was a killer liver kick. The Black Beast showed that he had potential to finish it, even when he was virtually finished himself. JDS got away just enough time. You're talking good sense. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, man, it was kind of crazy with Derek Lewis because every time he got a hit, even when he was tilted over, holding his stomach, bent over, Junior Sagano came forward, started throwing the right hand, and that's something really admirable about Derek Lewis is that he won't just take a knee and bow out, because I think a lot of guys, and um, I've been in there just sparring, and I've been hit to the stomach, and I didn't want to do it no more, so I took a knee, I bowed out. I didn't want to finish that fight no more. So it's crazy. So I have a ton of respect for Derek Lewis for seeing that fight through the way that he did. It's crazy the way it played out, though, man. But yeah, I enjoyed that fight. Let's read some of these comments now. Lewis was throwing some crazy kicks in there too. Yeah, Eric, you know what? That's crazy about Derek Lewis is that front leg switch kick that he always throws to their head. I wonder how much energy that takes out of a man that size. He obviously throws it well as a technique that he enjoys to do, but after a while, I think that kicks becomes a little bit predictable. And I wish Derek Lewis will start taking this a bit seriously. I once read him saying that he only trains half hour a day. Maybe take that up to an hour and a half, man. You're a professional fighter in the heavyweight top 5 of the division. You got there through half hour a day. I don't know how true that was anyway, though. But I genuinely, I really like Derek Lewis, and I wish he would polish out his game and have a ton more to offer. I enjoy Derek Lewis, so I'm hoping that he gets back. Rusty Russell, greetings, my brother. Totally agree. Saying a guy had to land one goes for both guys, but Junior had more skills overall. Yeah, straight up, that's facts right there. When the guys got only one path to victory, and that one path to victory being a big bang, that's crazy, man. Fight Lounge, JDS is a beast. Fight Lounge, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you for joining us, brother. JDS is a beast. I agree. He's a straight up G. Now that takes us on to the victory now. So JDS gets his victory. What's next for him? So I've heard him mentioning Francis Ngannou, and I like the Ngannou fight. I think the Ngannou fight appeals to me for a variety of reasons. I think he trains more and says the stuff for his character and get opponents to underestimate him. That may be true. But there's been some fights of Derek Lewis's that I've seen that I just felt like he was just underprepared for the fight. I know the Mark Hunt fight, he came in with a back injury, a pre-existing back injury, or so he says. So maybe that impacted him. But there's been some fights. Francis versus JDS that's a great fight. So Francis versus JDS. Let's talk about that fight, for example, to start off with. JDS versus Ngannou, the fight I want to see now too. See, everyone's talking about that fight now. That fight is so dope. So that was a fight that was originally meant to happen after JDS lost to Stipe, right before JDS popped for steroids. And then what happened is Ngannou got pulled from that card, and Ngannou ended up fighting Alistair Overeem. He knocked his head into orbit and got sent into the Stipe Miocic fight. So now when we're looking at that fight and we're considering the way things played out there, I kind of wish that he did get the JDS fight at that time. But now the fight's even more appealing because Francis Ngannou has gone on, had his tough losses, come back, rebound, and had the opportunity to mature as a fighter. Losses to me ain't the worst thing that can happen to a fighter. Losing a fight is not a problem. I don't care if a fighter's got a loss on his record. And I know in the world of what's up MFC, I was dead wrong about Lewis. Mahatma Gandhi, my man. A few people were, I think too many people were counting out Junior Sagano, but yeah, no, JDS done a good job last night. So now when we're talking about a fighter taking a loss to me doesn't diminish a fighter, his aura, his anything. Don't take away anything from me, because when I'm watching a fighter, to me, fighting is everything. It's beyond what happens in the ring. It's about how a man gets knocked down, loses a fight, and then rebuilds himself, comes back up. And that's why comeback stories are so great. Which is why, and that's why when Matt Brown went on his 7-fight win streak, why so many people were loving Matt Brown at the time. Matt Brown, a dude who was 12 wins and 11 losses, went on a 7-fight win streak in the UFC. What, you know, there's something appealing to me as a fight fan when I see a guy catching an L and then coming back and rebuilding himself. So you know what, Francis Ngannou's had the opportunity to learn from his losses. He's gonna, and the fight with JDS is an appealing one. I would actually pick JDS to outbox him for 3 5-minute rounds. I think JDS recognizes the power that Ngannou brings into that fight. I think JDS is a durable guy. I think he's more well-rounded. I'll do a breakdown on the fight if that gets announced. But yeah, let's read some of these comments now. What about Stipe? Where the fuck is he at? Stipe is too busy whining about not getting the Daniel Cormier rematch. I love Stipe. It really bothers me. I wish Stipe would just get over the loss Everyone loses. You got punched in the face. You got knocked out. Big deal, man. Just get the fuck over it. Let's get on. Let's start seeing what's next for you. Fight someone else. Come on, man. It's not that big a deal. Like, you lost. Get over it. You're not getting the Daniel Cormier rematch. Big deal. It really confuses me with Stipe. He's this hard-nosed, gritty, high work ethic type of dude, and now all of a sudden he's so upset that he's not getting a fight. Just get over it. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, man, I wish Stipe would come back. Francis had 2 horrible performances against Stipe and Derek Lewis. Since then, he has bounced back and looked like a better fighter. I agree, man. I agree, Fight Lounge. Them losses are a great thing for a fighter. Catching an L is sometimes the best thing that can happen. And even in your life, when you go through a tough time, you can consider that an L, and you rebound, you learn from it, you be stronger. So of course you can apply that mentality to fighting. And Francis is a dude who's come from a tough background. Look, at the end of the day, Francis skyrocketed into stardom. All of a sudden, he's gone from nothing to wearing this swanky suit, sunglasses, going around Las Vegas. Everyone recognizes him. Obviously, his ego got out of check, and he recognized that, and he caught them L's, and hopefully he's bounced back from it, and like, he can humble himself now. He seems like a good dude. I really like Francis Ngannou. Every interview I've seen of Francis Ngannou, he seemed like a good dude, man. So yeah, man. Matt Brown and Robbie Lawler, that was a great fight, man. I remember that. That was when Matt Brown was on a 7-fight win streak. Robbie Lawler had just rebounded from his Fight of the Year candidate with Johnny Hendricks by knocking out Jake Ellenberger back when Ellenberger was still relevant, and that was a great Fox main event. That was a great fight. That was a friggin' war. You're a G if I haven't watched that. Not too many guys give shout outs to that fight, man. So Eric, you're a bad man for that. When DC retires Stipe versus the winner of JDS Ngannou versus for the belt, yeah, that's logical. That's what should happen. Particularly, I really hope the Brock Lesnar fight don't happen. I'll be interested to know what you guys think about that. To me, that Brock Lesnar fight is super unappealing. It's just what does he get out of it? Let's see some of these comments. JDS is a technical striker, but Francis is a powerful striker. I agree. Yeah, Francis is an incredibly powerful striker, and he hits incredibly hard. But I would give the technical advantage to JDS. I'll give JDS a technical advantage. I'll give him the more well-rounded game. I'll give him the more the higher level of experience. He's been through the wars. He's been through the tough times. I think JDS has a ton of advantages over Francis Ngannou. It's almost similar to this Derek Lewis fight. Obviously, I think Ngannou hits harder than Derek Lewis, but hey, man, just one bang doesn't mean I can't pick him just based on the one punch. So, Wyatt Matheson, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. Guys, if you're just checking out the stream, Wyatt Matheson and Taylor the Tape, those two are my guys. They're great guys. They've got great channels. Hit them up. Show them some love. Check out their content. Taylor the Tape's my brother. He was my sub number 1, and now he started his own channel. So my man, you know, I'm going to be watching all of your content. Muhammad Gandhi, so true. Stipe and Ngannou and JDS are stuck in a love triangle. Those guys are all potential candidates. Where's my guy boxing MMA 365? I don't know. Hopefully he'll be joining us soon, my brother. I think Ngannou would have a better chance than Lewis against JDS if JDS uses. Yeah, I agree. I think Ngannou would. I think Ngannou has better technical boxing than Derek Lewis, which means he's already there with a higher chance. He hits harder, and he's a lot fresher than Derek Lewis as well. So those are all things to consider. Yeah, Ngannou beats JDS in my opinion. I disagree with you, Wyatt, but I respect your opinion. Who do you think, Volkan or Dominic Reyes? I think Dominic Reyes. So to me, as much as I love Johnny Walker, to me, the top prospect at 205 is Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes has got a well-rounded game. He's incredible. He's talented. He hits hard. He's got good conditioning. He's fought guys like OSP. He's shown that he's got skill. He's shown that he can go 3 rounds. And I've watched Johnny Walker fight on the regional scene. He fought in UC MMA. I've seen him fight around the world. And you know what? He's got holes in his game. He's a great fighter, but he's got holes. And to me, Dominic Reyes has shown that he's got the more well-rounded game. So I would pick Dominic Reyes for that one, definitely. Brock hasn't had a legit win since 2010. He deserves nothing. I absolutely agree. The sport of mixed martial arts must override the money aspect, the money bullshit aspect of this. And I'm going to actually release a video on Tuesday talking about the bullshit state of boxing currently. And I'm really hoping MMA doesn't become boxing where money politics rules all. As fans, I don't give a fuck about the money. I just want to see the top level fighters fighting the top level fighters. That's what I want. Straight up, man. Guys at stream, give thank you, I appreciate you, brother. Brock Lesnar is the money fight for DC. That's all. Yeah, and that's all it is. It's the money fight. I don't care about the money fights, man. I want to see the high level, top level mixed martial arts fights. Even if we don't see DC versus Stipe Miocic, and Stipe should probably get a rematch, based on the fact that he knocked him out in one first round. If they do DC versus Ngannou, I'll be much happier than seeing the Brock Lesnar fight. I don't care, man. I actually don't care. I'd rather see DC take on Brock at WrestleMania. Keep that nonsense out of the UFC. Yeah, straight up, man. And I like WWE as well, so I was watching on WrestleMania. So yeah, straight up. Taylor Tape, just checked your channel. Great stuff, bro. Yep, he's a straight G. Really appreciate that, bro, coming from you. I like Race. I want to see Race versus Walker. I agree. Race is my top prospect at that weight. Yeah, I don't want to see Race versus Walker yet, though. Like, to be honest with you, I want to see them take different routes to the title. Maybe do if Race gets past Volkan, which I think he will. I'm hearing that fight might be off now, but let's go under the assumption that it's still on. If Race gets past Volkan, which I think he will, we should be looking at probably Race versus Glover Teixeira, something like that, just to test his levels. You know what I mean? Like, give him a steady, a veteran, a well-renowned veteran who's been around in the game for a while, who's still showing he's got some skill set, who's still showing he's relevant. I think that's a guy that we should match him up against, and Johnny Walker can take another route as well. Thiago Santos probably fights Bones, so maybe Johnny Walker versus Corey Anderson. That's a good fight. There's some good fights out there. Even if someone coming off a loss, if we was to match up Johnny Walker with someone like Ilir Latifi, there's good fights out there for each other, which can keep them away from each other right now and let them. But 205 is such a barren wasteland sometimes that you don't really want to rinse out all the top contenders. So yeah, man, let's see what's going on. I got money on Race. He strangles his ass on the ground. Yeah, I agree. I think that would probably happen as well. Why I'm with Francis too. A lot of guys will be with Francis. I think a lot of guys will be picking Francis and Ngannou over JDS. If that fight ever gets announced, I'll have a breakdown of that fight on my channel. And obviously Ngannou can win. I'm going to save myself from looking like an idiot by saying, yeah, of course he might just land a punch and knock him out. But I will still pick JDS, man. I will still pick JDS. I think we've seen the last of DC. He's not fighting again. Really? What? You don't think he'll come back to? You don't see DC coming back to have one more fight? Mahatma Gandhi. That'll be interesting. I think we've seen the last. Damn, you disagree with me, MFC? How do you see JDS beating Ngannou? Okay, so let's talk about that. And I'll go over this briefly. So, firstly, I think, much like the Derek Lewis and JDS fight, I think their tools are the same. They like to throw their hands. And Francis Ngannou throws hands and JDS throws hands. Obviously, JDS is a lot more battle-worn and his chin is suspect, and Ngannou hits hard. So the chance of him knocking him out is really, really high. He's got a high chance of being able to knock out Junior Dos Santos. That being said, I would say Junior Dos Santos is the more technical boxer. He's got a more well-rounded game with the kicks. I don't feel like Francis Ngannou is that well-rounded on his feet. I don't think he's going to take Junior Dos Santos down, whereas Junior Dos Santos can take Francis Ngannou down. He can wrestle him. He took down Shane Carwin. Junior Dos Santos can grapple. He's been in there. He's been in the wars. He's been in the tough fights. He's more experienced. He's been in the spotlight. He's been there. So for Francis Ngannou, he's got one path to victory, which is punching him in the face and knock him out. That's anyone's path to victory. So I would say JDS has got a lot more scope for victory in that fight. He's got more tools than him. He's got more paths to victory, and therefore I have to pick him. So yeah, man, I heard it's Race versus OSP. No, it can't be Race versus OSP. He already beat OSP, no? I mean, it won't surprise me if OSP took that fight again, because he's a straight bad man. But you know what I mean. White Matheson, my man, that 500 subs was short-lived, huh? Yeah, man, that's what I say to you in the chat. I didn't want to celebrate my 500 subs until I get to like 505 or something, because this always happens when I hit a new 100. It'll go up to a certain number and then it'll drop down again. But these things, they happen. It's cool, man. The subs will come, they'll go. It's all good. I don't mind it. It's life. OSP is fighting Krylov at 236. It's a good fight. Johnny Walker versus Corey Anderson would be great. Yeah, that's a good test for both of them and see where they both are right now. I really like Gregor Gillespie in lightweight. Who should he fight next? Now, that's a good question. I really like Gregor Gillespie as well. And Gregor Gillespie's won, what, 6 in a row in the UFC's lightweight division? So that puts him in a real intriguing position. But there's a couple of guys who won, who are on win streaks that ain't ranked in the top 15. So if you wanted to match him up with someone who's on a win streak and not in the top 15, maybe match him up against Mairbek Tasimov, who's won 6 in a row. Maybe throw him in there with Carlos Diego Ferreira, who's won 4 in a row and just finished Rustam Khabilov's 6-fight win streak. Those are both good fights, but I think Gregor Gillespie should probably be looking to get a top 15 opponent. And I think a fight with Paul Felder's experience, his stand-up credentials, and his top 15 ranking, they all appeal to me. So Gregor Gillespie versus Paul Felder, to me, that's a great fight. I hope that's a fight that gets made, but let's see what happens. If you could have done the Brock versus DC fight right away for DC, then fine, get paid. But now it's been so long that it's beyond pointless. Yeah, I agree. That fight's burnt out, man. When it was first announced, I found it dumb then. Whatever. If you was going to make it happen right away, let it happen. But that's not what happened. What are we going to do? Have a year's build up for a fight that doesn't make sense anyway? That's a money fight. As a fan, I will be burnt out by the build up to that because I won't give a shit about that fight. So, yeah, but guys like us that are the hardcores, we don't make up the bulk of the paying audience. They want to appeal to casuals, and I suppose Brock Lesnar will draw out much more casuals than us. Some in London anyway, so I just pay for BT Sports and I'm cool. So it's a bit different, isn't it? Gandhi Corey is better but has no chin. Walker KOs him. I like that fight. Yeah, he probably KOs him. But Corey's better than him at wrestling. Johnny Walker's got a huge advantage on him. Then over him on the feet, he's obviously much more explosive, hits harder. He's got a few advantages, and they're all centered around his stand-up game, though. So maybe Corey's a more well-rounded, better fighter in that sense. But yeah, he has one foot out the door already. There's nothing more to accomplish. I agree. Like, so with DC, he has got one foot out the door. There isn't much left he can accomplish. He won 2 world titles in 2 weight classes. If he wants to just fight for legacy at this point or get paid, that's why he's calling out Brock Lesnar. But the Brock Lesnar fight is the Brock Lesnar fight. So yeah, I hope that don't happen. Corey Anderson is good too. Taylor Tape, you're right. I'm tripping. I agree that I'd like to see Race versus Walker a few fights from now, maybe in a year or something. Yeah, that's what should happen, Nigel. I agree with that. If this fight got announced, we've got to do a video debating Ngannou versus JDS. I'm down, bro. Let's debate this shit. That'll be a fun debate as well. Gregor versus Khabib would be lit. Very similar styles. Yeah, that would be a great fight. I think Khabib will take that. I think Khabib will take that. But Gregor's a good fighter. Gregor Gillespie is a great fighter. Gregor beats Tony, in my opinion. Woo! That is a bold prediction, Wyatt. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't think I've seen enough from him against the top-level guys to be certain that he can do that. Let's see what else we got going here. Gregor beats Gillespie. I can't wait to see Khabib defend. I don't even care. I'm just about him jumping over the fence. I wish he wasn't suspended. Yeah, I don't give a shit about him jumping over the fence. Why is that big a deal? It don't make no sense. Like, just get over it. So what? He jumped over a fence. This shit happens. Big deal, man. Something had to happen. Something had to happen. There had to be some consequence of that. Maybe not 500,000 and maybe not 9 months. There had to be some consequence to that, because to the major fan base that was watching that fight, mixed martial arts had to be seen to operate in a certain way. So something had to happen. Yo, Keenan K TV. I'm joined by the man himself, my man Keenan K. Guys, if you guys ain't already, check out Keenan K. He's a bad man. 15K subs. He's doing big things over there, man. He's a super likable dude, and he's very good looking, bro. So no homo out here. But yeah, man. So check him out. You guys showed up yesterday versus Porter. What's up, my man? Yeah, you guys did show up against Porter. And you know what, you guys, this is the thing about Yordenis Ugas. So we're talking about boxing now. Yordenis Ugas is a bad man. I think a lot of people weren't giving him credit because he's caught them 3 losses coming into the fight with Sean Porter. But you got to remember the credential that Ugas had. He's got an Olympic gold medal. Sometimes fighters just take some time to wet their feet in the ring before they get into it, and they become themselves a bit more. And I think what we saw last night is that he is getting much more comfortable as a professional against a high-level guy again like Sean Porter. I'm interested to see if Sean Porter is still going to be mentioning Errol Spencer's name, because he was saying Errol Spencer's name before the fight. Let's see if he's going to want to fight Errol Spence when Errol Spencer's fought Mikey Garcia. That should be a dope fight. Let's see what happens. Eagle kick was one of my favorite moments. I like to see Tony fight too. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. I love Tony Ferguson, man. Let's get him in there. We don't know yet on Gillespie. I agree. We don't know yet on Gregor Gillespie. I think he needs to get a few more fights. That was a coup de grace in Finn Balor. Finn Balor's a bad man. I agree. Khabib beats Gregor right now, but for sure I have Gregor over Tony. I think Tony is overrated. See, I've heard a lot of people saying that about I heard a lot of people saying that about Tony Ferguson. I think Tony Ferguson, he's had a few tough fights. He got dropped against Anthony Pettis. The one that bothers me is him getting dropped against Lando Venata. But I suppose Lando Venata is a difficult, unpredictable guy. You can't ever really be sure what's going to happen. He bobbles about. He bounces out in and out his zones. He moves real strange. So you know what I mean? Like these are, he's an interesting dude when you're watching Tony Lando Venata fight. So maybe that was a tough one. So let's see how that plays out. Hey, what Jackson Rounds? Hey, what's going on, Jackson Rounds? Welcome to the stream. I ain't seen you around before, so brother, let me know if you're new, man. This is what we do. We just discuss fighting on Saturday or Sundays, even. It's what we do. Just talk shit about fights. I ain't done it for a couple of weeks. Had some problems with my stream, but yeah, man, that's what I do. And when I'm not here on Saturday evenings, I tend to be doing a live discussion podcast with Keen and Kay, so you can catch me there on Saturday evenings or here on Sundays. Other than that, I'm uploading throughout the week anyway. So yeah, I knew he was going to bring it after the first time I saw him fight versus Delorme. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's a good shout because I weren't sure on if he was going to be able to bring it against Sean Porter last night, and he done really well against Sean Porter, man. I was really impressed. I'm really interested to see what your Dennis Ugas does going on from this and how he moves on. Hopefully, he can keep the same energy and keep the same momentum. I really like him, man. Thank you, brother. I sincerely appreciate it. It's all good, my man. What's up, Jackson? Jason, it's a Hudo versus Dillashaw rematch official. I saw somewhere it's in the works. Yeah, so I've heard that rematch is pretty much happening as well. So I think that fight is gonna happen. I really hope that fight happens at 135. It does happen. I'll be honest, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't want this fight to happen. I don't want the rematch to happen because after Henry Cejudo beat TJ Dillashaw, he makes his whole point about wanting to stick keep the flyweight division and how they shouldn't abolish it and all the rest of it. But then he's talking about jumping up to 135. If you want to keep the 125-pound division, then take a stance. Stay in the 125-pound division. Say I'm the champion of this weight class, and I want to fight someone like Joseph Benavidez, who's the last guy to beat me. I want to get that rematch. I want to get that victory back on my record. Let's do this thing, man. But you know what? That's the way the thing is. If it happens at 135, I'll still pick Cejudo again. But you know what I mean. Let's go through some of these comments now. Jason, not official, but very likely. Tony might be simultaneously over and underrated. Either way, I think he deserves attention. I think he beats almost on that 155, not named to beat. Yeah, I think he needs to be getting that title fight next. He 100% deserves. He 100% deserves a title fight. Any fight for Tony Ferguson outside of a world title fight against Khabib is straight bullshit. I don't care about an interim fight that's happening between Max and Dustin Poirier, who I love, and I think that's a great fight. Tony Ferguson should be fighting for the belt. You don't win 11 fights and not get to fight for the belt. And in a strange way, I kind of understand why Tony Ferguson turned down the interim fight. Look, he won an interim belt against Kevin Lee, who everyone was super high on. Why should he win another interim belt? He wants the world title, the main belt. So I kind of get it, man. Let's see what's going on here. You guys will be a tough fight for Errol Spence. I agree. So I want him to get some more W's. And keep it coming, man. So I enjoyed that fight last night, and I'm impressed by him. So I'm going to be watching him closely. Let's hope he carries on developing from this. Disney World Adventures. Hey man, for combat. Hey, what's going on, Disney World Adventures? Welcome to the stream. Chatting about fighting. Don't know if you're a fight fan, but thanks for checking out my stream. Bradford Lad, what's going on, my brother? Giving me all them. So guys, quick shout out to Bradford Lad. He's been giving me all these video ideas. 2 now. Both of them videos, I've enjoyed making them both. So thanks for checking out the stream. Welcome back, bro. Ugas beats Danny Garcia if it happens. You know what? Yeah, Danny Garcia does look like. Now, when you look at Danny Garcia reflectively, and like you look at some of his fights, like Lamont Peterson, he's had some tough fights early in his career that could have gone the other way. And I'm inclined to agree with you that Ugas can beat Danny Garcia at this point. You know. It's one of them things. MMA Headspace, what's going on, my brother? Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. I wanted to see Tony versus Max. That was exciting. I wish UFC had made worth Tony's time. Yeah, I think that would have been a great fight. Tony Ferguson versus Max Holloway. That's a great fight. It's great on the feet. A lot of great stuff happening. You know what? If Tony Ferguson is going to take another fight outside of Habib before he fights for the belt, Max Holloway was the guy to give him. That was the fight to make. UFC should have pulled out all the stops to make that fight happen, man. This is the first time I've seen you live, but I've been sub for a while. I'm not a good sub. And you know what, bro? All subs are good subs, man. I appreciate every sub. I'm only just starting off now, so every sub I can get, I appreciate. How's it going? Why TJ will absolutely rip Cejudo to shreds at 135. You think so, Bradford, lads? That's interesting. Like, I think maybe a lot of people are saying because of the weight cut that TJ was diminished. I think TJ is a little bit chinny anyway. And I think Henry Cejudo is pretty underrated. He's got good boxing. Him having that close fight with Demetrius Johnson, I think a lot of people are underestimating just how good Demetrius Johnson was as well, man. So Demetrius Johnson, actually, I know you're a big fan of Demetrius Johnson, Bradford lad. So I know you ain't underestimating him, but I think Henry Cejudo can come up and beat TJ Dillashaw. I think he will just. I originally thought that if there was to fight at 135, TJ would win, but I've changed my mind since that fight. Since I watched the first fight where I picked Cejudo to win, I think I would go with Cejudo at 135 as well. Did Tony hint at going to welterweight? I think he will. He did hint at going to welterweight. He was talking about putting some muscle up. He was saying he wants to get to 170 to 195. I think that might be a good option for him right now, depending on what's available. I think at lightweight, there's no point. There's nothing left for him to do at lightweight except for fight Habib. He's 11-0 and 11 in a row in lightweight, 14-1 overall. He's won an interim title. He's beaten the guys that everyone thought is going to go. He's beaten everyone. The guys who everyone thought was going to be the big deal, like Kevin Lee. And yeah, I like him at 170. Agree, Tony Ferguson deserves a shot more than anyone else. Tony won't find success at 170, in my opinion. I think he will. I think he hits hard. I don't. He might not be a world champion. He might not be Tyron Woodley, but I think he's top 5 at 170. Definitely, really good quality, bro. Glad to see the live stream all working. Touch wood. Yeah, man. I'm glad I can get live again, have the discussion again. TJ is a killer, Wyatt. Yeah, TJ is a killer, but I think Cejudo takes him no matter what happens. Nigel Tony is a small lightweight. He doesn't move up. You know what? Tony is a skinny lightweight. I don't know that he's small. I think he's if he puts on the muscle. Don't forget he won the Ultimate Fighter at welterweight. So I think he could have some success at welterweight. In the era of contenders not getting their shot, Tony is shafted the hardest. Yeah, I've never seen no one get shafted as hard as Tony Ferguson. Connor Shaw, what's up, my G? Connor Shaw, what's going on, my brother? You're another one of the guys that subbed me since pre-100. So I really appreciate you, man. I've done a video talking about the state of boxing. I know me and you first started talking over my boxing related content. So I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to be getting out on Tuesday on this current state of boxing in the world right now. So look out for that one, man. I think you'll appreciate that, bro. Bradford, yes, he is, but Cejudo is a snake. I think you're a bit behind on the comments, bro. Glad the stream's working right. I know what you're saying. I do think Cejudo is quality fighter, but I rate TJ so highly. I rate TJ highly as well. You know what? I'm a bit behind on the comments because I'm trying to catch up reading it all because I'm taking my time to respond to all of them, and then I'm getting all the messages coming, so I'm not being able to keep up with them. But it's fine. I'm going through it all one by one. Maybe I'm being a bit slow, but you know, normally I do these streams for like half hour, but I'm going to go for a bit longer today because I'm really enjoying catching up with you guys, especially where I ain't been able to do this for a couple of weeks, man. I've actually missed this. I missed you guys. I don't know you guys, but I missed you guys. So this is fun, man. Yeah, where was he? Does Poirier have any chance against Holloway? Nobody seems to be going for him at the moment. He's good. Poirier has a chance. Poirier is a talented fighter. I will pick Dustin Poirier to box him up. I think there's a couple of problems in this. Firstly, Poirier gets hit a lot. Okay, so even when you watch the first Max Holloway fight, on the feet, Max Holloway came in 3 weeks' notice. He was 4-0 against Dustin Poirier, who was vastly more experienced at the time, and he was still tagging him up on the feet. And then Dustin Poirier took it down. That's not something that's going to be as easy to do this time. We're going to get a matured, prepared, and better Max Holloway. Max Holloway is just such an animal at this stage in his career. And Dustin Poirier is a guy who gets touched up and like he gets into wars and then he wins wars, which is why Michael Ferguson was able to win. I I think Max Holloway is going to win that, man. So yeah, I gotta go, guys. Good stream, awesome community, peace. Take care, Wyatt. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for dropping by. Also, Tony tweeted out the other day that he can make 145. Yeah, see, that's crazy, man. I don't know what he's talking about making 145. Tell me, there's no reason why a 6 foot tall 35-year-old lightweight who's never cut to 145 should go down to 145. He can probably make 145 the way TJ made 125. I think he'll have no chin at 145. I think he'll get knocked out by practically everyone. I really don't want to see him. And come on, man. Why would you do that anyway? It doesn't make no sense. It's kind of annoying, man. Like there's no reason for you to be going down to 145, brother. You're fine at 155. If you go 170, maybe that. At 35 years old, with nearly 30 professional fights, don't go to 145. That's stupid. Thanks again for the feedback. Yeah, take your time, mate. Really like how you talk to everyone. Oh, thank you, brother. I enjoy talking to all you guys, man. So when I started this channel, I weren't hoping to become some international MMA icon or international MMA celebrity. I just wanted to interact with fight fans. I wanted to talk to fight fans around the world. When you're a huge diehard fan of mixed martial arts like I am, the community of people that you can talk to doesn't tend to be massive. Your best friends around you don't all tend to be into MMA. I've got one of my really good friends is a huge boxing enthusiast, and one of my boys, call him my brother, basically my brother Casey. He's a huge MMA enthusiast. So I got a few guys that I can talk to, but just having guys that I can talk to, you guys are also knowledgeable. That's one of the things I'm really proud of. When I look at my comments in my comment section, it's all educated fans. I ain't even got 500 subs. And then the comments that I get from you guys is all educated opinions. Even if you disagree to each other, it's no bullshit. It's no there's no bullshit. It's just when you're disagreeing with each other, it's respectful debates between yourselves, and that's what I love, man. So, anyways, take your time, mate. Second way, third. I'm gonna definitely check it out. Love all your content. Thank you, Connor. I know you do, man. You my G. I appreciate you, brother. Makes it feel like a convo more than a stream, which is awesome. That's what I want it to be. I want this to be a conversation because I'm talking to you guys and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's crazy, but Tony is a crazy guy, so I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, he's a madman, isn't it? Even the way he fights. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past him either if he decided to go 145. I think that would be a bad move though, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did. A little too crazy for his own good. Yeah, I agree with that. You're 149, you're 498 now. Subs now, bro. How great will it be if you hit 500 on the stream? That would be awesome if I hit 500 on the stream. I can't tell you how happy that would make me. But you know what, Bradford lad? I actually hit 500 earlier today. Then it went down to 495. So we're building back up again. That's why I never celebrate 500. I wouldn't celebrate 500 until I hit 505. So so yeah, let's see, man. Hopefully I can hit it. I'm way ahead of my target. My target was by the end of March. So either way, I'm happy. Actually, you know what? I think on the back of that, I think one of the things that I'm going to stop doing is stop setting stringent targets for myself for how much subs I need to have by a certain amount of time. It's not about that. It's about talking to you guys. It's about enjoying the community. It's about enjoying the engagement. I want to take my time to enjoy the progress now, the growth and everything that's happening. Just enjoying it all. So yeah, let's start enjoying this a bit more. Well, certainly on my end, I've been so fixated on how many subs I get, and I'm gonna stop focusing on it as hard as I have been, man. So see what's going on. I think Tony can have some success at 140. It's probably not good to cut more than 10% of your body weight. Some players cut 20%. Yeah, I don't think he should be cutting any more weight. I think he could have some success at 170. 155 is probably ideal for him. 145 is a real bad move. Who do you think would be the next UFC prospect to push to the star? Connor did Connor did earn his way. Like Northcutt and PJ were on the rocket ship stars. Okay, who do I think is the next? So if we're going through the division and we're thinking about the guys who have potential to be stars, the first guy that jumps out to me is Johnny Walker because he's got that fan-friendly style with the insane knockouts. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, and that's one of the things that Connor had when he first come about. Then another thing, another thing about Johnny Walker that appeals is he's young, so he's got time. There's longevity. He's crazy. He's got them wild celebrations. Dislocated his shoulder celebrating. He does all the dance moves when he's coming out to the fight. So I think he's got true potential. But I mean, I worry about him sometimes because I've seen tons of his regional fights, and I've seen when he gets past a certain round, he starts to gas out. He starts to get a lot more predictable. He doesn't stay the same fighter throughout. So that's something, man. But I think Johnny Walker's a real good guy to keep an eye on right now. Other than that, when we're going through this division, I thought Brian Ortega had true star potential. Obviously, Max Holloway beat the shit out of him. Johnny Walker's probably the best guy in my opinion right now. You know, for if someone's going to become a star for the mainstream, yeah. I don't think anyone should cut away. They should all be banned in the UFC. Yeah, they should. They should adopt the one championship model, which is one of the reasons why I love one championship. They shouldn't be cutting no weight. I get real tired of hearing about botched weight cuts and how weight cut made them lose a fight, and I just don't give a shit about that, man. Just fight at your weight class, man. When that's the way I've always thought it should be, and that's why Frank Edgar's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Is his willingness to fight people at his weight. This is a rat race, and I'm a turtle, Ninja Turtle. Who's your favorite? Mine's Michelangelo. Who was that quote again? Who was that? Remind me who that was. That quote was pure gold. Jackson, that's to be the best media scrum. Should have been meant business. Tony's a madman. I love it. Oh no, that was Tony Ferguson. Yep. That was Tony. Yeah, sorry, shit. Tony's a madman. I love it. He told the doctors to screw out and recovered fully. Yeah, I know. Man took 6 months to recover from tearing his knee the way he did. And he goes, yeah, I healed it myself. I dropped alcohol. You know what? Cain Velasquez needs to go see Tony Ferguson to fix his knee. That's probably a good idea. Dream weight cutting is insane. They're just waiting for someone to die before they change it. ONE FC had someone die before they changed their policy and got it right now. Yeah, that's true, man. Extreme weight cutting is bullshit. I can't stand extreme weight cutting. It's nonsense, man. Seeing these guys looking like they're drawn out and seeing a professional fighter a day before the fight in a condition that he's about to die, he looks so bad that I could beat him up. That's not something I want to see, and I'm not. Come on, man. None of us want to be seeing that. Yeah, I think all the other MMA promotions should follow that. Yeah, they should. That's why I love ONE FC. One Championship it's just a dope promotion. So it should be. For me, Zabit and Walker are being overhyped. Can't see either of them doing much. See, for Walker, he might end up being a bit overhyped because, like I say about his regional shows and Zabit, he's got a ton of attention now, and sometimes you wonder what has he done to achieve that attention. My little brother's real tough on him about his fight with Karl Bochniak because who's Karl Bochniak. But I think with Zabit, he's shown potential, he's shown patience, he's shown that he's got skills, but I don't know about superstar. I think it's kind of weird for me to say, but I think someone to become a true superstar, they've got to have a look about them as well, man. Like there's something about Zabit. But yeah, man, I like Zabit. I like Zabit, man. I do like Zabit. Max Holloway beat the shit out of him. Yeah, he did, man. That wasn't a good night for Brian Ortega. At least not as much as people think they will. Yeah, that's the thing. That there's a difference between being able to become a superstar or achieving greatness and still being a top five. If someone achieves top five status at some point in their career, they've had a good career. So at that point, he's had a good career. But will he be a world champion? That's very debatable, and I'm not sold just yet that Zabit will be a world champion. I think his next couple of fights are going to be telling. I'm hoping that he's going to end up fighting someone super, super difficult so that we can really see him tested, and we'll see how that goes. He put some CBD on it. Knee was brand new. Yeah, man. I take CBD drops in the morning and my hair started growing back. It's not happening. I'm bold as hell. Kane needs to call Tony. I still think TCE is the best prospect. Has some deadly BJJ and has great fucking chin on him. Yeah, I love TCE. TCE, the biggest problem for TCE is that he's so hittable. And when I done my breakdown for TCE versus Max Holloway, and that's one that I'm pretty proud of because I predicted the method and the round that Max Holloway would win. So, quick shout out to myself right there. I think TCE has true potential to achieve greatness. And I think one of the things that TCE's got to do is work on his boxing defense, that purely boxing defense, his fundamental defense. Stop being willing to engage in these fights or be put in this position where he falls back in rounds. And maybe that's a mental thing that he's confident that he can get the W and he's very confident in his skill set. He's a talented young man. He should be confident in his skill set. I really wish he would start to push forward the whole time and not allow himself to, fall behind, take these shots, be a slow starter. Yeah, I really like TCE, and I'm really hoping that he can enhance himself going forward, man, and carry on improving. Zabit and Walker both have potential. Yeah, they do both have potential. I like Zabit, he's definitely talented. But him and Stylebender both seem to lack that grit and raw power. Yeah, so Stylebender, I didn't mention Stylebender because I don't think Stylebender's that good. I think Stylebender's super overhyped. I think he should have finished Anderson Silva. Stylebender, when you're fighting a 43-year-old man who hasn't fought in 2 years, and I respect that he's considered a GOAT, but if you think back in the history of combat sports, and let's go with boxing because it's been around for a lot longer. Muhammad Ali, when he was 36, 37 years old, Larry Holmes came in and made a statement on him, and Larry Holmes didn't go on to be an all-time great. Mike Tyson, when he was washed, you saw Lennox Lewis put him away. Obviously, Lennox Lewis weren't a top contender or rising prospect, but when guys come to a certain stage of their career, when these young prospects are fighting them, you expect them to close the door on their career, and that's not what happened. So I'm not sold on the Stylebender, and I think I can go through all 5 of his UFC fights, and other than the Derek Brunson fight and even the Brad Tavares fight, I've never been super blown away by the Stylebender. So I might be wrong here because the majority seem to think he's going to be super incredible. I don't think so. Let's see what happens though. I like the Zabit is definitely. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Zabit testing his next fight too. Yep, agreed. People have Zabit on his pedestal like he can beat Max. He doesn't have big KO power and gas tank sucks. Beside that, he's very good, but people are quick to jump. Yeah, man. Like so, tons and tons of people on Zabit's hype train right now. I was going to say they're on his proverbial right now, but let me keep this PG. Tons of people are on his hype train right now, and I think he needs. I really like Zabit. And I think a lot of him, he's not. I do not see that he's given me enough of a body of work for me to be able to sit here and say he's going to be a world champion. He's going to beat Max. Let's wait and see. Let's see what happens. Let's watch his fights. Let's see what happens. True, but Stevens is a one-trick pony. Stevens is a one-trick pony. That I agree. That one trick is pretty devastating, though, isn't it? And like he's obviously an experienced guy. He's been around for a long time, so you expect him to be able to. You expect him to be able to do some stuff. Zabit versus Korean Zombie. That's a fun fight. I don't know when Korean Zombie is going to be ready to fight again. To be honest, I would rather see Zabit against a really, really tough wrestler or like someone who's going to test his ground game or someone, like obviously they're talking about Volkanovski versus Aldo, but I liked the Volkanovski versus Zabit fight. Maybe I think he trains with Frankie Edgar, so he probably won't fight Frankie Edgar. But I want to see him fight a real good wrestler. That's what I want to see. His kicks are crazy. He has got good kicks. I don't think his gas tank is a problem. He didn't look tired in his last fight. He was just coasting, taking no risk, as he clearly won the first 2 rounds. That even if let's put down the baby spoon first. Let's say that is the case. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you, and I've got no reason to disagree with you. We're 100% agreed that his gas tank, he had complete energy and he was just coasting. That in itself is a problem to me. You definitely shouldn't be coasting through a fight like that. You shouldn't be. If you're going to be a superstar, if you're going to achieve this great stuff, you do not start coasting because you never know what might happen. The judges might just give it to. It's stupid, man. So let's see what happens with him. True, but Stevens start, but absolutely true. True. I wonder if Zabit should go to 155. I think Izzy is overrated, hyped. He needs to get that grit, like you're saying. He needs to wrestle. Heard something to get strength and grappling. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying there. And I think Zabit at 155 might be interesting. If he can continue making 145 and it ain't causing him no health problems, he just seems generally like a skinny dude. I have no problem with him at 145. I think at 155 he might be better. He might start carrying some power, maybe start doing some powerlifting or some shit. But he does lack power. He definitely lacks power. Holloway would put the pressure on him. It's a 5-rounder. He'll get killed. Yeah, I agree, man. I think Max Holloway really puts a beating onto Zabit. I think Zabit would struggle under the pressure of Max Holloway. So that's probably a bad fight for him. I have 100 on Kelvin to win. Yeah, I think Kelvin is going to really, really bust up Stylebender. I think when you look at the Marvin Vittori fight, he'll take him down. He's much more fluid on the feet than Derek Brunson. The Derek Brunson fight is not a relevant fight that we can use to say how this fight is going to go. I think he'll land his shots on the feet. He'll be able to mix in his takedowns better. I think his being shorter than being so short compared to Izzy is going to probably help him in this fight in a lot of strange ways. So that's going to be a bad fight for Stylebender, in my opinion. But Volkanovski versus Aldo is official. Okay, I think Aldo will win that fight. I'm looking forward to doing a breakdown of that fight. That's a fun fight. That's a fight I'm really looking forward to breaking down in Brazil. Okay, well, Jose Aldo should fight. He said he wants to fight, what, 3 fights in Brazil this year and then bounce? I hope he gets that, win or lose. I respect Aldo a lot. I've been a huge fan of Jose Aldo throughout his entire career. I remember watching him knock out Cub Swanson with that flying knee. Actually, you know what? The first fight I saw of Jose Aldo was when he fought that dude who beat Michael Johnson in the Ultimate Fighter finale. What was that dude's name? Jonathan Brookins. That's who it was. That's the first fight I saw. So so yeah, man, that was a while ago, man. It's crazy to think when you've been a fan of mixed martial arts for so long, you've seen guys come in as prospect, contender, to great champion, to legend, to declining vet. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's so sad. I get so invested in it when I see these guys start losing. It breaks my heart, man. I swear, I get so invested in some of these fights. He definitely did not dominate Anderson as some people. He didn't dominate him. I saw zero domination. There was no domination in that. It was a competitive fight. He had a competitive fight with a near 44-year-old who hadn't fought for, what, 2 years? I think 237 with Bug Rose versus Andrade and Anderson Silva. I can't remember. Oh, that's Anderson Silva versus the guy who knocked out, what's his name? The guy who knocked out, I can't remember no one's name now. I'm not going to look in the comments because I don't want no one to say, and I need to remember this. He's fighting what's his name? The something gorilla, the killer gorilla. He's fighting. Oh man, I just can't remember. The dude's name's Killer Gorilla. He fought Ian Kutalaba. What's his name? Jared Cannonier. He's fighting Jared Cannonier. I got it. I remembered. Gonna be wild if Kelvin doesn't stop Stylebender. Whitaker definitely will. Yeah, Whitaker would fuck Stylebenders. He will ruin his life. He will bust him up bad. So yeah, man. How does Usman never get Masio? I ain't seen you about, man. If you're new to the channel, new to the stream, welcome. I appreciate you for joining and getting involved in the conversation, man. How does Usman never get hit? I can't see the head movement. Your opinion. How does Usman never get hit? So I think one of the reasons why Usman never gets hit is because of the constant pressure. So one of the first things you learn to do when you're boxing is head movement, side to side, hands up. I don't see Usman as having great fundamental boxing skills, and the reason he doesn't get hit is because his opponents always want to back up because they know what's going on. He's in your face constantly, so his opponents don't get comfortable to plant their feet and start boxing with him, and because that happens, he doesn't get hit so much, and the punches that they don't throw punches that they are 100% committed to, and then Usman takes advantage of that opportunity, puts them against the cage, and starts to really pressure them, and they don't respond. They don't respond well. So I think that's why Usman doesn't get hit that much, brother. I think Kelvin beats Whitaker. Yeah, I think Kelvin beats Whitaker as well. I've done a breakdown of that fight when it was coming up. So I think when that fight's going to happen, that I've already got my breakdown for that one up. So I guess I'm happy about that. But that's going to be a great fight. I think Kelvin's going to win that. I think Kelvin actually knocks him out, to be honest with you guys. Jacare versus Yoel is scheduled, right? Yeah, that's right. It's scheduled for a main event on UFC ESPN card. I think it's in California. Jared, I got it before I read that. So Jackson, I get that. I knew it was Jared. I remembered, bro. What up? Happening, Nigel? Yeah, tried to give a hint. What did you think of UFC 235? We haven't discussed or broken it down yet. Okay, so let's talk about UFC 235. UFC 235 was a great card. I really enjoyed UFC 235. Let me just get up that entire card here. UFC 235. UFC 235 was an important card as well for the UFC. So we had John Jones versus Anthony Smith. John Jones versus Anthony Smith, there's not really much to be said in it. Anthony Smith done better than I anticipated he would. Respect to Anthony Smith for not taking the easy way out when he could have gotten the DQ win. He carried on fighting, and so respect to him. I think coming in, that fight was never going to be competitive. John Jones, we're talking about all-time great with Anthony Smith. We're talking about a guy who got flushed out of middleweight. I respect Anthony Smith. John Jones done what he does best. Dominated that fight. Came in, won. Usman, I like the guy. People started hating him. I just liked him more. Yeah, I like Usman too. I think Herb made the right call for the stoppage. Yep. Usman has a sweet jab and switches stances. Just take down from both sides. Yep. Usman really surprised me. He surprised me too, man. I genuinely thought he would get mauled. I watched the RDA fight back, and he kept getting RDA down with sloppy single legs, and I couldn't see that working against T Wood. But fair play, yeah, he really stepped up his game, man. He really stepped up his game for the T Wood fight. I'm surprised it went that way. And with the 2 point deduction on the John Jones Anthony Smith fight, I thought that was the right call to make, because firstly, how do you quantify getting kneed in the head illegally, especially when you're not your flying knee, please, for the chat. I ain't gonna be showing a flying knee, broke frog, my brother. I don't think no one wants to see me showing flying knees. I might be getting up some sparring videos though, so that might be happening. Gotta go, man. Big thanks to everyone for the support and encouragement. Thank you, Taylor the Tape. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so the 2 point deduction was correct with the Anthony Smith fight. The Kamaru Usman T Woodley fight, that really surprised me. I thought T Woodley would win. He had nothing. It reminded me of the Rory McDonald fight. There's this thing about Tyron Woodley when he isn't winning. There's something happens with Usman versus Wonderboy. Usman versus Wonderboy. Well, I think Colby would beat Usman. Yeah, I think Colby would beat Usman too. Usman versus Wonderboy. If that fight was to happen, I would take Usman again. I think he would just pressure him, take him down, dominate him. That's probably what would happen. Usman done well against T Wood though. That was a good fight. I think we all enjoyed that. Usman might take GSU place as a GOAT soon. What do you think? You know what, Hamza? I think it's way too early to start talking about Usman in welterweight GOAT position. I don't think he will, because GSP was much more well-rounded. When we're talking about GSP, we're talking about a guy who defended his belt 8-9 times. Wonderboy versus Showtime should be good. Yeah, man, that's going to be a great fight. I got a breakdown of that fight coming up. I'll probably get that breakdown up on Thursday. So check that out, brother. That's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be fun to watch. I don't think it will be super competitive, but yeah. Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler. No, Wonderboy will pick him apart, in my opinion. See, I think Wonderboy is a very talented dude, but I think you got to remember Wonderboy is 36 years old now. What's he got left to give at this point? He's obviously had them tough fights with Woodley. Now there's impacts to that stuff. I don't know that we're going to be seeing the best Wonderboy anymore. Yeah, I mean, what would you think about Usman as a Wonderboy? I'm a huge Thompson fan, and that's what I love to see. Yeah, see, I'm a huge Wonderboy fan as well. I've been a huge Wonderboy fan since before he lost to Matt Brown. I was a huge Wonderboy fan, and I was really upset. I was picking him to beat Woodley going into the first fight, but you know what? It really surprised me when Woodley was able to do what he did with Wonderboy. He kind of shut him down. I think Usman's style is kind of good for Wonderboy, because Usman walks a lot more forward, and he won't fight like Tyron Woodley did. But you know what? I think Usman will be able to just take him down and hold him down. I think when Tyron Woodley did get Wonderboy down in round 1 of their first fight, Wonderboy couldn't get up. He just couldn't get back up. And that really troubles me to think about. So I think if Usman was to get him down, which he will definitely be going for the takedown, I wonder if he'll be able to get back up, man. That's the only thing that I really have to think about. He said he wants to be more aggressive. Now he really needs to be more aggressive, man. I think Usman has at least 3 successful defenses in him, but he definitely has a long way to go to make argument for. Yeah, long way. We shouldn't even have those conversations yet. I think there's too much of a culture in mixed martial arts. When someone looks dominant for 2 or 3 fights, we start talking about them as a GOAT. That definitely shouldn't be happening, man. Wonderboy will just hang back and pick his shots. Stylistically, is perfect for him. I agree. Yeah, stylistically, is a good matchup for him. It is a good matchup for him. But what happens if he gets taken down? You know what I mean? The way he slagged off Till after me, the way he put me off him. yeah. I remember that. That was that Till weight cut. What did he miss weight by? What, 7 pounds? That's crazy. Till or Masvidal, Darren Till's going to win that fight, Broke Frog. I think Darren Till's too big for him, too strong for him. He's going to walk him down. He's going to pressure him, and he's going to he's going to get that W. That's how I see that fight guy. I don't see anyone taking the belt off Usman. Woodley and Usman are the top 2 in the division, in my opinion. I think Colby Covington will beat him. I think Colby Covington and him are very similar. They fight very similar games. They're moving. They move in a very similar way. The fight are very similar, but I think the difference is I think Colby Covington's got slightly better stand up than him. I don't know. I think Colby can win that. I don't like Colby, but yeah, Bradford Lamb, we're on the same page here. I don't see anyone taking the belt off him yet. Colby will beat him. Agreed. MMA fans love GOATs and talking about them. Yeah, I agree. MMA fans love to start talking about GOATs. Win a world title, win 3 fights, guaranteed the next press conference you're going to be getting GOAT questions. Stupid, man. It's absolutely stupid. Colby has much better striking. I don't think Colby can beat any of the elites. RDA is elite, but he doesn't do well against wrestlers. See, I don't know, man. RDA is elite, so we already know he can beat elites. Colby Covington gets a tough rap, you know. Like, let's go through it. Yeah, so he beat RDA. That's a good win. He was elite, won 3 in a row. He was ranked top 5 in the world at the time. Fight away from a title shot. He was definitely elite. Then he beat Damian Maia before that, who was just coming off a title fight, lost to T. Woodley. Obviously, he's a bit older, but he was still ranked top 5, so that's got to be considered elite as well. Then Dong Kyun Kim. A lot of you guys, I don't know how much respect Dong Kyun Kim is given. Me personally, I give Dong Kyun Kim a lot of respect. He's got good stand up. He's got great wrestling. He's experienced. He's tough. He hits hard. He does everything well. So his win over he's got some good wins, man. So don't underestimate Colby Covington, Hamza. That's the only thing I'm gonna say, brother. Darren Doughboy Till Wonder Boy. That was a good fight. Hamza agreed. Just a quick tangent. You heard about Fury pulling out the Wilder fight? Yep. I have heard. I have heard about that. That breaks my heart to see, mate. The Fury Wilder fight rematch not happening really pissed me off. Like, pissed me off more than I can ever explain. Like, that fight, the fact that rematch isn't the next fight that's happening really irks my soul, my brother. Like, I don't know how to turn that shit. I wanted to hit someone when I heard that news. It pissed me off, man. Like, oh man. Anyways, guys, listen. Time's ticking along. I got work tomorrow. We've been on for an hour now, so I think I'm gonna call it a wrap. I'm super happy to have been able to do this discussion again. I enjoyed this conversation. I enjoyed the engagement. Nigel, it was great to have you joining the stream and getting involved in the conversation and joining the channel. I appreciate you, Hamza. Thank you for joining. Bradford Lad, I've missed our conversations. Jackson, thank you for joining in. Not Jackson, Jackson, I guess. But thank you for joining in the live stream, and I hope to see you around a bit more as well. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you guys, man. So thank you, guys. Let's keep the community growing. Let's keep the engagement going. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. I'll catch you guys soon.